Now that's fast.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
So, you're dreaming of hitting 200 miles an hour, but don't have six figures in the bank to join the 200 club with a McLaren, Ferrari, or a Bugatti. Well, we got some good news for you. If outright speed is what you're looking for, today on Idealist, we've got 7 of the cheapest cars capable of getting you to 200 miles an hour. Supercar top speeds for Hyundai money. So hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and let's get straight into it. Now our first car on this list is a true American icon, and one of the best budget pseudo supercars ever made. Of course there was gonna be a Corvette in this video. But we aren't talking about the supercar slaying C8. Because if you want to hit 200 on a budget, you're going to have to turn back a few pages and look at the C6 Z06. The Z06 arrived in 2006 and it was a huge step up for Corvette. With a 7-liter V8 and over 500 ponies under the hood, this vet really was competing for supercars at a fraction of the price. And all that power will get you to an official 199 miles an hour. But head downhill with the wind behind you, and you'll easily top that 200 mile an hour figure. You could also probably just ditch your girlfriend and do a little bit of tuning, and you'll hit 200 no problem.
Which is my command,
Now, the Z06 isn't exactly cheap. We found several listed around 40 grand, but that's still a bit of a steal for a car that looks this good and can hit 200 miles an hour. And no, mullets and New Balances aren't actually required. But if you really want to show everyone how fast you can go, well, you're gonna have to take some friends along for the ride. And for that, the good folks over at Cadillac have you covered.
But real quick, before Trav gets into this badass caddy, I gotta talk about if you get pulled over for going too fast. That's where today's sponsor, Off the Record, is there for you and me. They help fight traffic tickets for drivers across the country. Book a case with Off the Record and you're matched with an experienced local lawyer who handles your case from start to finish. And they have a 97% success rate and offer clients a full refund if they aren't able to keep the ticket off your driving record. So once you register today, put in our code and you'll get 10% off the first case, which can be used anytime in the next 3 years. Thanks Off the Record for sponsoring today's video. Click the link down in the description below to find out all the services that they can do for you. Now, back to that Caddy Cts. Ooh, crap, I almost spoiled it for everybody.
Now, I know what you're thinking. The minimum age for a Cadillac owner is like 85. But this one ain't your grandparents' Caddy. Well, not unless your grandparents go drag racing and drifting on the weekends. The CTS-V is America's answer to the Bmw M5, and whatever insanely powerful sedans AMG is building these days. And the Caddy can easily keep up with the competition from Germany. You get a massive 640 horsepower sent to the rear wheels. And that's enough to take you and 4 of your buddies to that magical 200 mile an hour mark. Or go out and just completely shred your tires if you prefer to go sideways. Now, this is the newest and most expensive car on the list, and all that power and luxury will set you back around $60,000 for a tidy 2016 model. But let's be honest, you're watching Ideal Cars, so you're not gonna go drop 60 grand on a Cadillac.
Of course.
But lucky for you, there's another fast sedan that can be had for around 1/3 of the price. The Bmw M5 has become one of the most legendary fast sedans ever made for offering both practicality and supercar speeds. And when the E60 came along in 2004, it brought with it the gloriously unreliable 5-liter V10. When this car launched, people thought it was amazing to have that incredible V10 sound in a big family sedan. And it was, until the rod bearings started failing. And if, or when, that happens, it could cost you in the neighborhood of 30 grand for a new engine. But when they're working, this is arguably one of the coolest sedans ever made. You can even get a version with 3 pedals if you're one of the people always shouting, "Save the manuals!" down in the comments. And if that is you, why not pick up one of these Ts in the Ideal store and let everyone know you'd rather change your own gears. Now, there will be some of you saying, yeah, the V10 is cool, But aren't they limited to 155? And you'd be right. But with the electronic limiter removed, that V10 has all the potential to hit over 200 when the car's working. And the best part is, you can pick these up for around 20 grand. Although stick shift models are harder to find and seem to change hands closer to 30 or 40. For our next car, we're moving back across the Atlantic for some good old American muscle. Mustangs are usually more about swinging donuts and crushing the quarter mile rather than hitting top speeds or throwing down lap times.
Stop it. Get some help.
But with the 2013 GT500, Ford claimed an almost unbelievable top speed of 202. That's 202 miles an hour in a Mustang. And while that claim proved actually pretty hard to achieve, the fact that first gear will get you to highway speeds and third gear is good for 140, well, 200 doesn't sound too far off. Although this is still a cheap way of hitting 200, prices have been on the rise over the last couple of years, making this less of an ideal deal here in 2022. You'll be looking at paying around 55 grand for a clean 2013 model. And at that price, we'd put our money on something with more badge appeal than Ford. Perhaps something like the Bentley Continental Flying Spur. Bentley are known for making some of the most luxurious cars on the road. And in the case of the Flying Spur, speed, also one of the fastest. This land yacht will hit 62 miles an hour in under 5 seconds and reach that holy grail of 200 despite weighing in at over 5,500 pounds. And all that speed is thanks to the massive 6-liter twin turbocharged W12 up front. And on your way to 200 miles an hour, you'll be sitting in one of the best interiors in the business. I mean, just look at it, filled with leather and wood and cutting-edge 2006 technology. All this can be yours for under $50,000 with a few miles on the clock. If that's still beyond your budget, we can actually get a large luxury sedan with the same W12 motor for a lot less money. Back in 2004, VW decided they wanted to build a car that could compete with the Mercedes S-Class. So they took the W12 engine and some of the interior from the Bentley Flying Spur and created the $120,000 Phaeton. And despite looking just as boring as the Passat, it was and still is one of the most luxurious cars on the road. And even though that W12 engine is missing the turbos from the Bentley, this VW will still get you to 201 miles an hour with the limiter removed. These days, you can pick up a nice Phaeton for as little as 16 grand, which has got to be worth it just for the engine alone. And if you're prepared to remove the limiter, there's another way you can hit 200 on the German Autobahn. Mercedes are the king of fast sedans. And with its 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8, the 2007 E63 is one of the greatest ever made. With over 500 horsepower, you'll arrive at 60 in just over 4 seconds. And with that limiter removed, you'll be nudging 200 miles an hour, given enough space. And Merc even made the E63 wagon, so you and your dog can go hit 200 miles an hour. Although that's probably not the best idea. But if you want to try it. E63s are now going for under $20,000. Like this one we found for just under $16,000. So which car would you use to go out and hit 200 in? Or maybe you've already ticked that ultimate speed box off your bucket list. Either way, let us know down in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, check out our blog at ideal.media for more ideal content, and just remember one thing for me, keep on living that ideal lifestyle. I'll see you guys next time.